LeBron James empowered the players. Now you see, guys, LeBron James is more powerful. That's what's rubbing people the wrong way, because LeBron James got something these guys never had. LeBron James has a Thor hammer, and when he swings it, the pendulum shifts. Skip, we need to stop this, Skip.
Shannon Sharpe just had his entire worldview shattered, and he doesn't even know it yet. For years, Shannon has been the self-appointed high priest of the LeBron James religion. Every debate, every take, every single conversation somehow circles back to defending LeBron's legacy like it's the 10 Commandments carved in stone.
Yeah, look, you got a LeBron jersey, though. That old fake goat you gave me for my birthday a couple years ago.
Yep.
This is the real goat.
The real goat.
Look at that. He got a crowd and everything. Spanky, you've been unbelievable.
For years, Shannon Sharpe has acted like the ultimate preacher of the LeBron James gospel. Every take, every debate somehow ends up praising LeBron like he's the chosen one carved in stone tablets. It's wild how deep his loyalty runs. But here's the twist. Luka Dončić just dropped himself into Lakers history, averaging 40 points a game and rewriting records that even prime LeBron never touched. And now Shannon's in a bind. His loyalty's to LeBron, but the truth is staring him dead in the face. Luka might actually be better than LeBron ever was in his prime. Fans aren't buying the excuses anymore. They're sick of the mental gymnastics, sick of watching Shannon act like Luka's just LeBron's little helper, when the guy's literally carrying the Lakers, while 40-year-old LeBron sits on the bench clutching his back like an old man. If you're ready to see Shannon's whole LeBron-worshipping empire crumble right before your eyes, hit that subscribe button because this drama's about to explode. Before we dive into the chaos, let's talk about who Shannon Sharpe really is. This man has built his entire post-NFL career on one mission: protecting LeBron James at all costs. Stats don't matter, performances don't matter. Even when LeBron shoots 6 for 22 in a playoff game, Shannon will call it greatness with a straight face. When LeBron snagged that bubble ring in 2020, Shannon was shouting, "In GOAT we trust," like it was a sermon. But when LeBron missed the playoffs in 2019, he turned around and blamed the young core. When Skip Bayless called out LeBron's so-called foot injury back in 2023, Shannon Sharpe absolutely snapped on live TV. He shouted, "Why is it that when someone says something's wrong with LeBron James, you either say it's not that serious or he's lying?"
I'm a natural-born wide receiver. He's a natural-born quarterback, so it fits perfect. You know, I've been running the floor and running lanes like pretty much my whole life. And he's been throwing great passes pretty much his whole life. So it's not hard to get a rhythm when it comes to that. You know, it's just all about eye contact and him being a great quarterback like he is, and me being the recipient of it. So.
You could feel the anger through the screen. This is the same guy who openly admitted that Skip genuinely hates LeBron and called him terribly, terribly, sadly mistaken for daring to think Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or Larry Bird were greater than LeBron. Shannon doesn't just defend LeBron, he worships him like a basketball god, and that was all fine until February 2nd, 2025. The day that flipped the NBA upside down, the Lakers pulled off the wildest trade in modern history, snatching Luka Dončić straight from Dallas. And Shannon? He had no clue what kind of storm had just hit Los Angeles. Now here's where it gets messy. After Luka dropped a dominant 32-point game against Denver on February 22nd, Shannon jumped on First Take screaming, "OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5. With Luka playing like that, we got GOAT James. It don't matter. LeBron James, Luka Dončić, Lakers in 5. Sounds like Shannon's on the Luka train, right? Wrong. Listen closely. With Luka playing like that, we got GOAT James. He didn't say, we got Luka and LeBron. He didn't say, the best duo in basketball. No. To him, it's still all about LeBron. Luka's just the sidekick in Shannon's fantasy world. But here's where it gets real hypocritical. Just 3 days earlier, the same Shannon said Luka didn't fit with LeBron. His words, Luka's better on the ball than he is off the ball. So which is it, Shannon? Shannon tried to sound analytical when he said, LeBron James needs the ball, but LeBron can play off the ball. Luka might be the better player individually, but that don't mean he's the best player with LeBron as a duo. Wait, what? Did he really just admit Luka's the better player, only to take it right back in the same breath? Classic Shannon move. That wasn't analysis. That was damage control. He realized he'd just said something that could crack LeBron's entire legacy, so he panicked and tried to patch it up mid-sentence.
I would put it to you like this here, Legs. OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5. With Luca playing like that, we got Go James. It don't matter. It don't matter. LeBron James, Luka Dončić.
Did you just say
Lakers
in 5?
Yeah, he's speaking like a fan now.
You better get drunk.
Yeah, he's
Justin.
speaking like
Something
a fan.
wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something wrong with you. Lakers in 5. Stop that nonsense.
Okay,
That's ridiculous.
I will
That's
say it one more
ridiculous.
time, Stephen A. Stephen A, one more time. Stephen, I want you to listen close. I want you to listen to, Legs. OKC, KFC, UFC, Lakers in 5.
You could practically see the gears turning in his head like, oh no, I can't say that on live TV. And fans caught it instantly. Social media blew up with clips, people calling him out for twisting his words just to protect LeBron. But let's forget Shannon's spin for a second. The cold, hard numbers tell the real story. This is where Luca absolutely destroys any comparison to LeBron. Through his first 5 games of the 2025-26 season, Luca's putting up numbers that don't even sound real. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals per game. Absolute video game stats. And here's the wild part. Luca just became only the 2nd player in NBA history to drop 40+ in his first 3 games of a season. You know who the other one was? Wilt freaking Chamberlain. Not LeBron. Wilt, that's legendary company. And when you look at the age comparison, Shannon's LeBron worship starts to crumble fast. At 20 years old, Luca averaged 29.5 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 9.3 assists. Meanwhile, 20-year-old LeBron, 27.2 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7.2 assists. Luca beat him across the board. Better true shooting percentage, 61% versus 55%, better win shares, and even a higher offensive rating, 119 to 114. The numbers don't lie. And get this, even Shannon himself once admitted it. Back in 2019, during one of his fiery debates with Skip Bayless, he said Luca was already better than 20-year-old LeBron. His words. But now that Luca's rocking the Lakers jersey, suddenly Shannon's got amnesia. Here's the stat that really buries his argument though. Luca's career playoff scoring average is 32.5 points per game. LeBron's 28.0. That's a 4-point gap in the playoffs against elite defenses. The same playoffs where Shannon calls LeBron the greatest performer ever. But funny enough, Shannon never mentions that stat on air, huh? Instead of facing reality, Shannon pulls the oldest trick in the book. He starts rewriting history. He actually said, LeBron would have scored more if he had Luca setting him up when he was 25. Bro, what? That's not analysis, that's full-on fan fiction. It's just another desperate attempt to keep LeBron's legacy spotless. So let's get this straight. Dwayne Wade was a better teammate because he could play off the ball. Kyrie Irving was better because he could catch and shoot. And Anthony Davis is better because he's tall and sets screens. Come on, that logic's a mess, and even Shannon knows it. Because just a few weeks later, on March 9th, he did a complete 180. Suddenly he's saying, you see what he's doing at 40? Wait, now Luca would have helped LeBron? Which one is it, Shannon? Is Luca too ball dominant to be LeBron's best teammate? Or is he the playmaking savior LeBron never had? You can't have it both ways. Here's the truth. Shannon just says whatever keeps LeBron looking untouchable that day. When Luca has a bad game, he blames ball dominance. When Luca goes off, suddenly he's the perfect partner. It's exhausting. Fans aren't dumb, they've caught on, and they're roasting him all over social media. Meanwhile, LeBron's been sidelined since late October with that lingering sciatica, missing multiple games, and Luka's been unleashed.
Slim now, but he just looking like he just gonna blow up. He moving like the calories are going up each move.
Like with him getting bigger?
Yeah, you gonna see it.
I see 40. The fact that he's like consistent with it. You just still doing it. Like every time he steps
Like
the court, it's 40.
If you don't see that, go ahead.
Go ahead, Gil. What? I thought we established that this was gonna happen. You know, when everybody was calling him fat and he was averaging 28, 8 and 8 being fat. What happens when this fat man decides to get in shape? As a fat man, and everybody thought that was like, he's being stopped as a fat man. Y'all seem to forget what we're seeing is what we thought was gonna happen.
Without LeBron demanding the ball every possession, Luka's putting up historic numbers and carrying the Lakers like a one-man army. And how does Shannon respond? On March 27th, during LeBron's absence, he jumps on Nightcap saying, "Do I think the Lakers can beat anybody in 7 games? Oh, now they can?" Funny how confidence suddenly appears when Luka's running the show. Shannon couldn't help himself. He said, "Absolutely. Luka and LeBron can both take over games and give you 40 a night." But notice the slick wording, Luka and LeBron. Not, Luka is carrying this team. Not, Luka is proving he's the future. Shannon can't give Luka solo credit. Even when LeBron isn't playing, he's still twisting Luka's success into a reflection of LeBron's greatness. And remember, this is the same Shannon Sharpe who ripped Skip Bayless for questioning LeBron's injuries. He barked, "You've never called out Tom Brady when he was hurt, but when LeBron has an injury, suddenly he's lying?" So when it's LeBron, Shannon demands full respect and zero skepticism. But when Luka's out there cooking without LeBron, suddenly Shannon forgets how to give credit where it's due. The double standard is insane. Fans see it clear as day. One fan even tweeted, "Shannon spent years saying LeBron makes everyone better. Now Luka's dominating without him, and Shannon's still giving LeBron the credit." Make it make sense. Exactly. Shannon's logic collapses faster than the Lakers' defense on a bad night. But here's the real turning point, the moment that wrecked Shannon's entire narrative. It happened just days ago, on November 8th, 2025, when the Lakers faced the Hawks in Atlanta. LeBron and Austin Reeves were both out. This was Luka's big test to prove he could carry the squad completely solo. And what happened? Disaster. The Hawks, missing Trae Young, Clint Capella, Jalen Johnson, and half their starters, embarrassed the Lakers 125-90, a straight-up blowout. The so-called unstoppable Luka-led Lakers got smoked, and suddenly Shannon's quiet, trying to figure out how to spin that one without tearing down his golden idol. Luka wrapped up that nightmare game with just 22 points on 7 for 17 shooting and went 0 for 4 in the entire third quarter. JJ Redick had seen enough and benched him midway through with the Lakers down 90-65. And to pour salt on the wound, Hawks fans started chanting "Nico's reject" and "Mavericks reject" every time Luka stepped to the line. Brutal. It was a harsh reminder that Dallas shipped him out over conditioning and attitude rumors, and that noise came roaring back. So where was Shannon after this disaster? Did he hold Luka accountable the way he loves to torch other stars? Nope. Radio silence. Not a single tweet, not a peep on Nightcap, and no fiery take on First Take.
You see what he's doing at 40.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine LeBron at 25 and 30, and he has a Luka that he doesn't have to worry about sitting him up. He doesn't have to worry about running the offense. Luka can do everything that LeBron does, and LeBron gets to focus on just this.
Yes. Yes.
What do you think his numbers would have been?
If this had been KD or Giannis putting up a stinker like that, Shannon would have gone full preacher mode, yelling about leadership and accountability. But Luka, suddenly it's all crickets. Why? Because calling out Luka means calling out the Lakers. And calling out the Lakers means risking LeBron's image. Shannon can't have that. His whole brand depends on keeping that narrative clean and polished. But if Shannon actually wanted to act like a real analyst, here's what he should have said. Luka didn't show up tonight. He got outplayed by a depleted Hawks squad. That's unacceptable for a superstar. Simple, honest, and fair. But nope, he stayed quiet, protecting the image of LeBron's Lakers like his career depends on it. And that silence? It backfired big time. Fans saw right through it. Because just a few weeks later, April 10th, Luka went nuclear in his return to Dallas. He dropped 45 points, teared up during the tribute video, and then absolutely torched his old team like a man possessed. Lakers fans went wild online, flooding social media with reactions, half emotional, half savage, saying stuff like, "Luka took that trade personal, and this is what happens when you doubt greatness." Meanwhile, Shannon had nowhere left to hide. His LeBron-first narrative was cracking, and everyone was watching it fall apart live. One fan straight up wrote, "Luka, you the man. Nico needs to go into witness protection after this." Another said, "This is the perfect setup for Luka to be the hero and close it out." And you know what's missing from all these reactions? LeBron's name. Not a single mention. Lakers fans aren't hyping the LeBron-Luka duo anymore. They're celebrating Luka alone. Because deep down, everyone sees what Shannon Sharpe refuses to say out loud. Luka is the Lakers now. LeBron's 40, battling nagging injuries and clearly nearing the end of the road. The torch has already been passed, whether Shannon likes it or not. One fan nailed it perfectly on Twitter. Shannon Sharpe can't admit Luka's better than LeBron because his whole brand depends on LeBron being the GOAT. If he admits it, his career as a talking head is finished, brutal, but true. Another added, Shannon spent years defending LeBron from Skip. Now Luka's proving Skip was right about a lot, and Shannon can't handle it. That's the kind of public perception you can't spin away, no matter how loud you talk. Even NBA players are quietly weighing in. In a recent anonymous poll of over 150 players, many called the Luca AD trade one of the worst decisions ever made from Dallas's side. But Lakers players, they said it was genius, that it changed everything. Translation: the rest of the league already sees the truth. Luka's not just a star, he's a generational talent, already matching or even surpassing what prime LeBron brought to the table. And here's where things get spicy. The one comparison Shannon will never make on air. Luka at 26 versus LeBron at 26. The numbers don't lie, and when you put them side by side, it's game over for the LeBron's still the GOAT argument. At age 26, LeBron averaged 27.3 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists during the 2010-11 season, the year he finally won his first ring alongside Dwyane Wade and Chris Bosh. Respectable, no doubt. But now look at Luka. At the same age, he's averaging 28.6 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 8.2 assists for his career. And this season, he's flirting with a ridiculous 40 points per game pace. That's something LeBron never came close to doing in any season. And it gets even crazier. Luka's career playoff scoring average sits at 32.5 points per game, higher than any single playoff run LeBron ever had before turning 30. The dude led a team to the NBA Finals at just 25 years old, without another all-star beside him. Meanwhile, LeBron reached the Finals at 22, sure, but he got swept. Context matters, and Luka's doing it with less help and more pressure. But here's the problem. Shannon Sharpe will never mention that on air. Why? Because those numbers make LeBron look ordinary, and Shannon's whole career revolves around the idea that LeBron is anything but ordinary. What's wild is that back in 2022, even Shannon himself said, "I think they're very similar. Out of everyone in the league, Luka probably reminds people most of LeBron. He's a franchise-altering player, a future MVP, and like LeBron, he's asked to do everything." So Shannon already knows Luka's on that level. He literally admitted it on camera, but now that they wear the same jersey, he can't keep that stance because it directly threatens LeBron's GOAT status. Here's the uncomfortable truth Shannon will never speak on TV. Luka Dončić is going to retire LeBron James. Not literally, but symbolically. The moment LeBron calls it quits, whether it's this year, next year, or 2 years from now, the Lakers won't skip a beat. They'll pivot straight into the Luka era. LeBron's LA legacy will shrink down to one line in history: the superstar who helped bring Luka to the Lakers. And Shannon, he'll have to sit there watching his so-called GOAT fade into the background, while the new face of the franchise rewrites the story right in front of him. Think about it. The Lakers' future isn't LeBron anymore, it's Luka Dončić. The man just locked in a potential 4-year, $229 million extension, and he's only 26 years old. He's got a decade of dominance ahead of him. Meanwhile, LeBron's fighting through sciatica, hinting at retirement, and literally saying, "I don't have much time left." That's not the voice of a king. That's the sound of a reign ending. The torch has already been passed, whether Shannon Sharpe likes it or not. And here's the nightmare scenario that keeps him up at night. If Luka wins a championship in LA before LeBron retires, the narrative flips overnight. Luka finished what LeBron couldn't. If Luka wins multiple rings after LeBron leaves, it becomes, the Lakers were always Luka's team. LeBron was just keeping the seat warm. And if Luka keeps stacking numbers and eventually passes LeBron's milestones while wearing purple and gold, the story writes itself. Luka Dončić is the greatest Laker since Kobe Bryant LeBron. Just a chapter. Luka, the new era. Shannon sees this future unfolding right before his eyes. And he's terrified, because once the spotlight moves off LeBron, it takes Shannon's entire media identity with it. If you loved watching Shannon Sharpe's LeBron loyalty crumble under cold hard reality, smash that like button, drop a comment. Is Luka already better than prime LeBron? And don't forget to subscribe. We're pulling back the curtain on everything the mainstream sports media is too scared to say. See you in the next one.